Hello and welcome to Xale Yi, juk len. I'm Kine.
I'm Marieme.
And today we have the honour of having a very talented Senegalese actor that we've had the privilege to watch live on stage, Marieme Diouf. Thank you for coming.
No worries. Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Marieme.
Thank you.
So yeah, just to get started into it, how did you actually come to the realisation that acting was for you?
I think I've always known at some point that I wanted to be doing something artistic. When I was a kid, I was constantly dancing around, and actually we used to do dance competitions in the house, and I always won them. But anyway, like I always wanted to do something artistic, but I just wasn't aware that there was such a thing, or that I could have the potential of being an actor. But then when I moved here, which helped me learn English, I was watching a lot of CBBC, and do you remember the show Ka-Ching?
Ka-Ching!
There were these two black girls in there, and I remember like just watching them for a while and going, I want to do what they're doing. Like I didn't know what it was, but I just knew I wanted this. I saw myself in there somewhere, and I wanted to do it, and it sort of just went on from there. I've been quite lucky since, like literally from school with my drama classes to going to Leighton, where I did a BTEC class. Actually, when I was in school, and I was doing drama, at the end of my GCSEs, my drama teacher was giving me different colleges to go to, and I went to Leighton Sixth Form College. Yeah. And in my first year, I did A-levels. I did only A-levels because that's what parents tell you should do. Like that's the basic. But then after in my first year, I had to move tutor groups because we had too many people in my year, and my new tutor was the head of year for performing arts BTEC in Leighton, and I told him that I wasn't really having a great time in the A-level performing arts. So I was doing A-level performing arts, and it was just basically theory work, and I didn't want to be doing that. I wanted to be getting up and experimenting and moving around, and he said to me, you can stay in college for an extra year, but obviously you have to start again and do BTEC Performing Arts. And I done it. Like I knew I wanted to do it, so I just did it, and it was the best decision I've made because from there it just all went smoothly. I learned about drama schools. I didn't even know what was going to happen after BTEC. I was just quite happy to just do BTEC and see what happens next. And towards my second year, end of my second year, we were told about drama schools and different drama schools and applying for different drama schools, and I applied for two, one called Xale Yi and one called East 15, mainly because I was lazy. I only applied for two, but like, there were people in my year that were applying for 5, but it was also a lot of money to like audition for 5 different drama schools because you had to pay for your audition fees. But yeah, I remember my first one was Xale Yi. And Xale Yi is a TV and film course as well as a theatre course, so it merges the two together. And I knew I wanted to go there, so yeah, I auditioned for there and East 15, and then I was offered a place in both of them. But I really wanted to go to Xale Yi, but it was too expensive for me, so then I had to apply for a scholarship, which was granted for me, and then I was there for 3 years, and it was the best 3 years of my life. Yeah, pretty much, and just sort of gone on from there.
Yeah, it just happened in the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Because it's like being at the right place at the right time with the right people, being guided, drama schools and stuff, because drama schools, like you said, is expensive. So were there a lot more people like you from a different background? And
in our sense, a private drama school, so actually it's not funded by the government in any way. So even if I didn't get a scholarship, I wouldn't have been able to go there. I was always going to be offered 9 grand from the government, and the rest, I think now it's 16 grand a year. So then I would have had to get the extra grants from somewhere, and I'm sorry, my mum got that kind of money. But yeah, so of course I was surrounded by white, posh, middle class people that you know, money sort of comes to them, you know, like naturally. But what's so good about Xale Yi is that they do the scholarship, because they don't actually want the same type of people to be in the class. They want a range because they want everyone to learn from each other. So in my year, there was 2 other black girls and 1 black guy. And funny enough, they all came from Leighton.
Wow.
As in they literally, like, we all auditioned.
Wow.
And Leighton was so good at training actors that we all got in. And so all the black people that were in my year, I already knew.
Wow.
It was crazy. So yeah, but then like I met other kind of people, like people from Ireland, people from Scotland. I know my mates, one of my very close friends from Scotland. People from like villages in England. Like,
yeah, you didn't hear
from Liverpool, just literally different accents, different voices, different sounds, different experiences, and just people was just. I think we had 26. There was 26 of us, and we all came from different walks of life, and that just allowed us to just learn from each other and from just being basic humans, and not just worry about whatever we brought into the room. It's about who we are. This is ourselves. We're just going to learn. And for the next 3 years, we became a family, and some of them are still my very close friends. So yeah, that's what drama school is like.
That kind of reflects London, because London is a place where there's multicultural, different people. So
exactly.
When you first came to London, did that help you adjust coming from Senegal at such a young age?
Well, when I first came, I guess there was a lot of Gambians there are a lot of Gambians in London.
Hackney especially.
In Hackney, yeah. So I didn't feel that I was lost in like that world, because my mum, I guess, made it a thing of me going and meeting people like yourself. You probably were the first Gambians I met. So yeah, I felt that there were some people that I can connect with and be with, but at school it wasn't like that. At school, yes, it's very multicultural, but no one that was Gambian or Senegalese. Actually, there was a girl that was Gambian. I didn't know it was Gambian until I left. Which was really sad, because the whole time but because I didn't speak English, obviously I'm Senegalese, so I just spoke French and Wolof. So when I first came, the first couple of months were quite tough. In school, and just not being able to communicate, and I remember not being me because I couldn't speak. And it's so important to learn how to communicate, because you lose your sense of self, because you just don't know how to be yourself.
You're not able to express yourself.
Because you can't express yourself. But I learned English pretty quickly, I think. And I was just back to being
yourself,
taking control of my life. But yeah, no, it was nice. Like in some weekends when there was things going on, like I remember like your brother's birthday, we'll be there, and yeah, it was just going to Dara as well. Cool, like just having something to do. But I think what I probably hated the most about moving here was being locked in so much, like just not having the freedom to be out, and because I'm used to that. I was used to that at home, where I was constantly being out with my friends, playing in the sun and just being a free child. But then I felt that actually moving here just made me very restricted. I just felt that there was no community,
freedom,
and there's actually no community, which was really sad. Like when you grow up back home, like everyone in the area knows everyone. And like if you do something and your parent doesn't see it, trust someone saw it, and they will tell you off. They have every right to beat you as your mum. Do you know what I mean?
As it takes a village to raise a child.
It's a whole village, it's a whole thing. But no, so I guess that's what I didn't like.
The biggest struggle,
like I didn't like the cold and just people.
Still don't like the cold.
But yeah, I think and I still find it just a bit sad that people are scared of other people. Like people we're not seeing each other as just humans. We're just we will ignore that person, or like
we're just scared of them.
We just don't look. We just don't pay attention. Like when you see violence from the street, people are too scared.
They just carry on.
They just carry on because that's now how we're like taught to be. You just focus on you and blah, blah, blah. Like, but we should be a community. We should be, and not just Gambian and Senegalese. I mean, like a human community. Like everyone around you, if they're in trouble, we should be able to help. So,
so do you have any influences out there, whether that's Gambian, Senegalese, any mainstream?
My main influence is Akon.
Oh,
I tell everyone he's my cousin because we have the same surname.
And you know what? It wasn't even a thing where, when I first moved here, I remember watching. I was just flicking through the channels, and I was a music channel, and I saw this guy. As soon as I saw him, I went, I know you. Like, I just felt that there was a connection. I had no idea who he was. I didn't know what his name was, but it was Lonely, the song Lonely. And I just went, who? I was just intrigued. It was like he was calling me. I just felt something. And I remember I could recall something later, realizing that he's Senegalese, and because he was #1 or whatever. And I was like, there is something. It was just maybe his skin.
I think that's what it is.
Whatever it was, that was a connection. And like since then, like, it's been a bit weird, but like whenever I was going through like a low period or whatever, an Akon song would just pop up. Like, but I won't be bringing it up; it would just come up, and but there would be a message in there somewhere. When I literally grew up going, whenever I was down, like this guy would just pick me up without even knowing. So I call him my earth angel. I always have since I was a kid. And like as I grow up and I see what he does, I just feel like me and him have so much in common in terms of just empowering back home. And so yeah, like when I decided I wanted to be an actor, I was like, I think he made me believe that I could do it because he's a Senegalese man that moved to America, and he's sort of like, he's got a platform for himself. So if he can do it, any of us can do it.
And not only that, he's trying to light up Africa now, isn't he?
And I guess it's about just seeing someone that comes from the same background as you, that just shows you that you have the power within your hands, and they allow you to be strong. And I guess that's what he's done for me all of these years. So yeah, like I want to do exactly what he does in terms of I want to invest back home, and I want to re-educate my people back home. And yeah, like every day I'm like, you do you. I'll meet you one day. You do you. But I mean, I guess there are other people like I find Youssou N'Dour amazing, obviously, not just because of his music, because I just feel that he's a hard-working man. I think Kumba Gawlosek's amazing. I think she is like she is a strong black woman,
and she's like her own person. Like
she's her own person, and like I was talking about this not long ago. Like the fact that she hasn't got a husband or whatever,
or kids yet.
People make it a thing.
She don't care. She even does songs about it. Like,
why is it that that's what you want to focus on?
Exactly.
When she's literally
like, giving you literally music. Can't you focus on that?
Talent.
She's so talented, and she's so beautiful.
World, and she's stuck to herself. Like she hasn't changed. She's the same human being.
So beautiful.
And I find that inspiring when people are just happy to be themselves and just leave the negativity out. So yeah, people like that.
Some really good role models, like especially Kumba Gawlo, because
I think
she's so distinctive. Like when you hear her, you're like, oh yeah, I know who it is.
The way she looks, like she literally looks like a model.
Exactly. Even she don't have the best rhythm, but she's not afraid to dance or anything.
Because she's confident.
Exactly.
And that is attractive. Confidence is attractive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Especially when she has like the short hair and everything. Nah, I actually love Kumba.
She'll give you the short hair, the afro, the braids, the weave. She can do whatever.
And her dark, rich skin. The fact she hasn't like been like other people that have gone out of their way to lighten their skin and everything. Like
it's very nice because one day you could be Kumba Gawlo to someone or Akon to someone. So it's nice.
I'm sure she is. Not one day. I'm sure you have been.
That is good.
So I've had some good influences, and I think those people these people that I've mentioned, they have no idea. Like I'm sure they've been told how inspiring they are, but they give me the strength to want to be that for someone else. You know, like I think once these people or us as people just do what's right for us, that we can open a whole new world to people. And I think that's what this show is doing, I guess. It's allowing other people.
So we're just going to go for a quick break, but we'll be right back.
A date for your diary. Gambian Fashion and Exhibition Weekend. Designers are welcome to register interest. It's all about raising awareness of the fantastic work being done in our community.
Award night, fashion night and exhibition of top class only. This event is sponsored by Gam Designers UK.
Yo, this one for a blessed Gambia. The more we work together, the more we celebrate. The more we come together, the more we celebrate. Come on, let's get together. There's a place I love to be. The Gambia.
Welcome back from the break, guys. So we're still here with Marieme Diouf having a conversation about her acting career.
People to just be themselves and see that they're not weird or alien or whatever.
And you know when you don't even realise that you're influencing someone or someone's admiring what you're doing, only because you're doing what's you and yourself.
That makes it a bit more special. That might not be your sole intention at the time, but something good comes out of it by you inspiring someone else.
Yeah, I think the most inspiring people are people that are just doing it for the love of whatever they're doing it for, and they're not trying to impress or they're not trying to be anything but themselves
or anything.
And so therefore we as people, we just read that, we just read the positive that's coming out of them, and we want to pick up on that because we like good things, or as human beings we just want to be in a positive place. So yeah, that's what these people do.
Yeah, in this day and age, it's so easy to recognize fake now. Anyway, people are so much more woke. Like everyone's just like it's so easy to tell when someone's genuine and someone's not. So definitely, like, it's nice reflecting, like getting together with people that you know, like we're all like I'm sure like when you're acting, especially in theatre and stuff, when you're all as a team and you're all realistically doing it for the sake of the project and what you love to do, it must be something special.
It is like and I'm always excited to see what my cast is going to be like, and every cast is different, but you all become a family. Like no matter how long, you can have a 3-week rehearsals or a 10-week rehearsals, and by the end of that you all merge and you all need each other and want to be around each other. Like one of my first jobs out of drama school was to be with the RSC, and it was a whole year's contract, and I was I was Trafford upon Avon, and that Hamlet cast was literally in my whole life, and that I still love them so much, and we still talk, and we're still very much a family. But yeah, it's nice to just be around people that have the same mental, I guess, ideas as you, and thoughts and positive vibes, and they just want to create work and inspire others. So yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. When you're inspired by the people around you, it's really good.
The people around you make you who you are. So that's why you need to be very, like, you need to know who to be around and choose your surroundings very carefully.
Also, what is it like when you like get on stage? Because when we went to see The Hose, it's like proper, like we're right there with you, like on the edge of the stage.
Like we was in the room.
So what is it like when you come out and it's like that?
Well, I guess so. Like with The Hose, I never really cared for the audience, because the play is written that way. The play isn't for the audience. The play is for these girls. So actually, the moment you start to acknowledge the audience, then they're gonna.
Isn't that what we were discussing? Because we sat right in front of you.
We were like, oh my god,
she turns out and saw us, but you didn't see us right up until the end.
Because what you know, like some plays is very much like, of course it's for the audience. Like of course that goes without saying, but as an actor, you need to also, so the actors go and the audiences are here, but the character can't be thinking that, and
you'll put you off track, won't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, and you just won't be authentic, because with this play, what was so special about the play is it was just 3 best mates. So the moment we start to bring other people in there, like in the audience, it's just not going to be about these fundamental relationships that we had. So no, like, I guess I've been trained in that, so it doesn't, I don't feel any type of way. I get nervous, like, so when it's like opening night, first previews, obviously because it's the first time an audience is seeing it, there are nerves. But 5 minutes in, I'm just like, okay, let's do this, and you get so comfortable. Like, I love being on stage because it's all, I'm just playing. Like when we're kids and we're playing mummy and daddy, that's literally what I'm doing. I just get paid for it. That's literally what I'm doing. I'm just there saying someone else's words, and just remembering this person that I built up because of the script that I've been given, and so therefore it's just play, and that play was hilarious, fun, and so once you were in it, it was just easy to keep going.
Is it different when it's like a different kind of, like that one was more fun, but if it's something that's a lot more hardcore and a lot more serious?
Yeah, it is different. So I did a play, and I took it to did a school tour with it at the Royal Court, and it was called Cutting It, and it was about female genital mutilation in Somalia. So I played the Somali girl. So it's a two-hander, just 2 actors, and so I played the Somali girl who doesn't run away from home. She leaves the war from Somalia and lives in London. But she's going to school, and this other girl is like a Somali girl but brought up in London. And that is hardcore because it is about female genital mutilation, and like eventually you find out that my character is cutting little girls in a tower block, but in her world it's normal. So, but it's not till the end that she sees, because she cuts her mate. So this other girl, they become friends at school because they're both Somali. And it's not till the end that she sees actually how that's affecting, because she's cutting her friend's little sister, and her friend comes in and sees it. And so that's hardcore. But it doesn't make a difference with the audience or not. Like every character has their own right to be alive, if you know what I mean. So the audience is never really thing. Like you have to focus on what it is you're doing. And I remember feeling a lot of responsibility with that character, because these are people's lives and it's not fake news. It's very much this is happening in these communities, and awareness needs to be brought up with it. And so I did feel that whenever I went on stage, there was a thing of, this is not about me. This is about all those little girls that can't communicate, can't say how they really feel. So so sometimes there's a lot of pressure in just doing it right, because otherwise you might just tell the wrong story, and that's not what I want to ever do.
As an actor, that must be a huge responsibility, especially when it's someone else's words on paper and you getting it out right.
And you've got, and like obviously when writers are writing, they'll have their own like ways of how they think it's going to be done. But the actor, and that doesn't mean that the actor has to follow exactly those things. Like some great writers will write and allow you to find those little moments and see what version of you, because at the end of the day, like with every character, I've got to bring myself into it. I'm not just going to be something that I can't relate to. So it's got to come from me first. I need to know where I'm at, where this character is at, and how I can relate to that person in order to do the best realistic version of this character. So there is hard. Sometimes you're like, oh, I still want to do this wrong, but no. Most great actors, writers they just know. They just allow you to find your way into that person.
And what was it like when you first finished drama school and you were like out in the world and you had to kind of find your feet and actually getting through the right doors, because it's a very competitive industry, like you said. So
once again, I was really lucky. So when in my third year, we had this project called professional practice. And what happened, what ArtSed does is they bring actual professionals from the industry to come and do workshops with us. And we had this brilliant director called Matthew Dunster who came and did a workshop with us. And at that time, he was casting for a play at the Royal Court, which is in Sloane Square. And the play was called Liberian Girl. And so he asked me, and we had 3 black girls in my year. So all 3 of us auditioned for it. And I was still in my third year. Myself and the other black girl both got offered a part in there. So my first job was whilst I was still training.
Third year. Wasn't that scary?
No, because ArtSed trains you to be ready for the task. Like it trains you
even before you leave. That's amazing.
Even before you leave, like you know your craft, because the first year is all about getting people to be on the same level and being all humans. And the second year is all like these little bits and bobs that sort of start to merge together. And in the third year, with your like third year plays, all your techniques that you've learned from the first and second year sort of come
all kind of melds together quite nicely.
And and so whatever part you get in the play, you choose what technique works for you. So so I got that job, and so in the third year, what happens as well? So you have 2 plays. Well, the first one is like. And all these plays are open to public and to agents, so they invite agents in.
Clever.
And so I did my first play, then did Liberian Girl at the Royal Court, and then it was the third year play. And at this point, I think, how was I signed? I was getting interviewed from different agents because they've all come and seen the first play anyway. And then obviously now know that these 2 are already professional actors out there that are
booking jobs.
So so I had a few agent meetings, which was fun and exciting. And I think I signed before my second play.
Wow.
So yeah, I was one of those lucky ones that like I had an agent before I left. I had a job before I left. I was already in the world before I left. And so after I signed that agent, I think my first audition with them was for a TV series called Outlander, which I also got for a little part in there. And so before I left as well, I was now going to Scotland back and forth from this. So yeah, I can't really complain. But it is valid that there are people that were in my year that had it harder than I have, and are somewhat still struggling, I guess, but it is a process, and it's okay for me to struggle. Because if you whatever you want, I don't want to have anything easy. Because if it's easy, that's not really what I want.
For granted,
do you know what I mean? So whenever I am going through like a dry period of not working, it's okay, because I know that the next part is going to be better, more exciting, and I'm going to want to do it. So yeah, so I don't even know what the question was.
No, but you answered it, because some people do have, everyone has different journeys.
Absolutely.
Some people maybe don't understand that, because some people just watch it like, she's so lucky, but you don't even know what they've gone through before, how they got to where they are, so it's definitely...
And even the actors that we like, the big old actors that we see on screen now, trust me,
the struggle.
They've been struggling for years before they landed that one part that's just made them 100%. That person.
This we were talking about yesterday, Letitia Wright. She actually used to come to my school and perform, in our canteen area, and now to see that she's on Black Panther,
the most biggest movie of like last year.
That was literally just a few years ago when I was still in secondary school.
Absolutely, like I remember watching. What was she in Attack the Block?
Yeah, she was Top Boy. She's in Top Boy.
And going like, and I was in training then, and going, oh man, this is so cool. I want to do these things, and I did a self tape for Black Panther.
Wow.
And afterwards, I was just like, I'm so grateful that I did that, because I'm surrounded, like my agent is surrounding herself with these amazing people, and that wasn't my part to land ever. But it's just good to know that I am making a journey. I'm climbing up the ladder.
You're next, man.
No, but it's important to go through that as well, to understand this wasn't for me.
That's what but that's what
you're saying. Exactly. For a reason.
Yeah, everything is happening for a reason, and I always say to my actor friends, chill, like it's okay.
If it doesn't happen now,
it will happen.
Yeah, you'll get it. Yeah, it's true.
There were certain jobs that I've landed and I've gone before, like the host.
Yeah.
The moment I read that play, I knew I was going to be in that play, because I read it and I went, this is me. I understand this world. It makes complete sense. So I wasn't acting. It was something that was personal to me, and I just loved the project the moment I read it. And actually, the only pressure I had was, if I don't land this, I'm going to be like, but why? Because this is all you.
So it made sense when you did land.
So when that call came through, I was like, you got the job. I was like, yes, thank you. Like you were, like God was giving me these signs, and when you meet the actors that you're meant to work with,
then it all makes sense, doesn't it?
I remember in our tech week for the host, actually, there was so a couple of weeks before the auditions, before I even read this play, I had a dream. It's so weird. I don't know what I'm putting it on. It's so weird. But when we were teching that dream, I remembered that dream, and it was legit. I was on that bed, because you're
the bed in the set,
and the lighting was exactly the same, and I went,
it's like deja vu. Deja vu.
I was meant to be here. Certain things are just written by you, and it's about being patient and believing in yourself, 100%. And in God, and just believing in the universe. Because what is meant for you is meant for you.
And like talking about Hose, because we got to see the Hose, and it was such a good play. Like you were so good in it. It was like you were like you were like the no offense, like everyone was great, but you were like the star in it. So could you just explain briefly like what it was for people that didn't get a chance to see it?
The Hose was about 3 girls, and I want to say 3 black girls, because I think that's very important for me. 3 black girls that are from Essex, and they all go on holiday to Ibiza. And they're 3 best friends, and they're all going through their own midlife crisis. And so my character was called Bim, and Bim is how can I describe Bim? Bim is a free spirit, in a way that she isn't ashamed to have desires, female desires in any way. She is in control of her sexual self, and she's proud of it.
Yeah.
Because she understands that.
We're just going to go on a quick break, but we'll be back with Marieme right after this.
A date for your diary. Gambian Fashion and Exhibition Weekend. Designers are welcome to register interest. It's all about raising awareness of the fantastic work being done in our community.
Award night, fashion night and exhibition of top class only. This event is sponsored by Gam Designers UK.
There is a land not far away, where the sea meets the shore on a golden beach, where the river flows through the forest in 1,000 creeks, a place where people smile and say hello. Welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. The Gambia is the destination for a fabulous holiday. A love of nature is in the soul of the country. The many forests and parks teem with wildlife. Up in the trees, red and green monkeys gather and sometimes come down to play. Other natives of this forest are perhaps shy. If you love birdwatching, this is one of the best places in the world to see them. Over 560 species live in and migrate to our land. Organised tours with expert guides make it easy to spot some of the many rare species which abound in the forests. If it is luxurious surroundings and a warm welcome you're looking for, this is the perfect place. On the golden sands by the mighty ocean, our fabulous hotels offer everything modern travellers would expect. High quality, attention to detail, personal service, and more. Imagine a private retreat buried deep in the forest. A special place to relax, recharge, and get in touch with our culture and nature. So go discover the smiling coast of Africa.
Welcome back from the break. We're still here with Marieme talking about her career.
Men do it, and no one sees them as any different. But the moment a woman does it,
it's shamed.
You're shamed, but it's a natural feeling to feel how you feel. But at the same time, her own struggles are that she has a mental illness that, you know, like as the actor, I had to make it a thing. But it's in the play. She's obviously going through something mentally in her head. But her friends don't know, so it's about trying to balance her.
It's like two sides to her, isn't it?
Yeah, there's two sides to her. So like when you first watch the play, when I first read it, she just seems like this bubbly,
outgoing.
No idea, so happy. Just like guys this, guys that. Everything is cushy, everything is nice. But when she's alone and she's having a low period, and in the play you discover that she's tried to commit suicide. And, she just wants it to end. There's so much that goes on, and with the other girls, one of them's called Jay. So Jay is very common in our world. Is the person that our parents does this to us, I'm sure. Well, you know, you're too old.
Get married.
And she has the pressure of having to get married. Just because your parents are telling you so.
Especially in our culture, that happens a lot. You know them saying.
But the character was like successful in other ways.
So she was successful. Exactly. She had her own salon.
You know, your success isn't like thinking until you get married.
Yeah. So that, I guess, that tackles the fact that for women, sadly, no matter how successful you are in your life,
if you're not married,
exactly, it don't mean nothing.
You're working somehow, which is obviously
a reality.
And Alex, the other character, was she's with a long time boyfriend, and
the white boyfriend,
which is very important. she's in a long-term relationship, but she's just sort of staying in it because it's convenient, which I also find very relatable, especially when you look at, I probably shouldn't say this, but I thought that in our community we have aunties and moms or whatever just stay in a relationship because they're just told
because it's easier. Munyal.
And for me, that creates a mental health issue.
It does.
And not just to you as a woman, but as the people in the house,
the kids.
And a lot of people think kids don't notice what we do.
But kids notice so much.
You know what else is so sad is that those women are bringing up other women.
Yeah, they're gonna do the same thing.
Because you taught them to do that.
Because that's all they know.
No matter how bad a relationship is, you have to
stick to it.
And we need to teach our girls differently. They need to be able to take control of their own relationships,
100%.
but be happy. Because obviously every relationship is
problems and stuff. Exactly.
But if fundamentally you're not happy and your partner's not doing anything about that,
it's not right.
It's not worth staying in it because you're not teaching your kids anything, but just to suffer in silence. Which it's a very important play. You can buy it or you can get it on Amazon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, is it?
The book is out. You can read it. For anyone that hasn't seen it live, no, it was
good. There was some really good themes in it. Like even we were having the conversations on the way back. It was talking about like mental health, so many different things. And it's interesting because when you're talking about your character, everyone's kind of like that. People just portray this perfect like persona,
but then behind closed doors,
you're suffering in silence. Like,
and in real life, people don't just walk around going, "I'm sad."
Exactly.
What we do is we try to put on a show. We try to say that everything's
no one wants to go around and say, you know, I'm
obviously
not in the greatest of places right now.
But we need to allow people to do that.
I think it should be okay.
Exactly.
It's human nature. It's human nature.
Okay, to struggle because that's once you tell yourself that you try to admit it to yourself, then you can move on.
But if you're not ready to admit it or accept that there's something wrong, then you won't ever be able to move on.
Exactly, and like with the mental health, like especially for me in the Senegambian community, mental health is
taboo, isn't it?
It's so taboo.
It's so taboo.
But also that they don't even know that it's a thing. So there are people, older and younger people, that are going through the worst darkness that they've ever gone through. But they just get up and they just go on, but they're not even aware.
It's because they're suppressing it and it's getting worse.
And that's it. And eventually that's going to bubble up.
It'll eat you up,
That's when the worst things happen. And I find that it comes from just not being open to life.
Not enough awareness, I think.
Or you're not educated about it.
Exactly.
Or how to support someone or speak to someone.
Yeah, but also I feel that sometimes, like, because of the way that we're brought up, we have to be...
So you have to suck it up.
Yeah, we have to be nice and we have to be respectful. And we have to, especially women, we have to behave a certain way. That we don't allow our kids or our friends or whatever, your nieces, whatever, to come to you and say there's something wrong. Because you taught them that they have to be strong, and it's also okay to teach them that it's okay to be strong. Like if you need a shoulder to cry on,
just come.
I want kids to go to their mums and go, "Mum,
this is what happened."
I want parents to allow their kids to be open with them and not just shut them down when they say this is happening or that's happened. Because there are so many things that's going on in African households. And the kids are too scared to tell their parents. And it's literally happening under their own roof.
And a lot of them don't even know.
And they don't know because they're scared and because they don't have that relationship with their parents. So they don't know how to communicate.
Which also leads on to, I think, other things that were touched on in the play as well, such as like
even rape.
Rape and consent. And these are things that actually happen in our households and a lot of people aren't aware of.
You know what was, when I was doing this play, like after the show, I could never really go home straight away because I would have audience members that would just sit by the bar or whatever and just want to talk about it. And we've had multiple girls say, either when they lost their virginities, that they didn't want to because the guy was pressuring them too much and they were just like, but that's rape.
Yeah.
We need to...
Consent.
it's rape.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't want to do something with you, you leave them alone. And we are so quick to tell the girls what to do, but we're not teaching the guys what they should also do. Like in our world,
what they shouldn't do.
Exactly what they shouldn't do. Like in our world, I feel like we're always trying to tell girls how to behave.
It's so true.
But no one is saying
teaches the boys exactly.
To my nephew, I've got to tell the boys the same thing, because they also need to know what's going on, and that's where this whole sexism thing happens, because we treat our boys different to how we treat our girls.
They're free to do anything. Like,
guys can just go on, run wild and do whatever you want, but as long as we're going to tell our girls to be at home and cook
and dress like this and talk like this. Yeah.
As a girl, as a woman, you can dress however you like. What that guy does is not your problem.
Yeah, that's
his responsibility. So we need to give them that responsibility. We need to teach them better than that. So yeah, and what you said earlier about things going on in the household, we had people had like some sort of sexual abuse in their homes by like actually
a family member.
And like, let's say your uncle does something to you when you're younger, but you're so scared
to tell your mom.
You will never tell your parents because that uncle's telling you, they're not going to believe it or whatever. They will manipulate you. But if you build a relationship with your child, to the point where they're comfortable enough to come to you and tell you if something is wrong, then there's so much we can avoid in family disputes and issues that's happening at home, because I think that's where a lot of mental health things happen when kids, when you're young, because
it affects you. 100%.
It affects you, and like no matter how much you grow up and go, I'm just forget about it. It will always bubble up. It will come back, and sadly will come back ugly ever. So yeah,
it's very good. Yeah, but it's good when you watch like a play, like when it reflects on either on screen or on stage, something that's real, something that actually happens, because then people relate to it, and then it gets conversation started.
So because at the time while you're watching it, you might see it as entertainment, but literally afterwards, when you start reflecting, you're like, oh, this is what's happened, this is the theme that's been explored, you're able to relate it back to you, have discussions with people about it. So I think that's the magic of it, really.
And that's why I love doing it, because a lot of people have this stigma about what being an actor is, and they just think it's the glamour and it's the red carpet, and it's like not that. It's not that at all. Like more than half the actors out there are just struggling actors, but what we want to do, mostly what I want to do, is tell an important story, and tell a story that's going to teach the audience something, and also reflect reality. And I want to do it, and I love doing it because I'm a black woman, and I feel like there isn't enough of stories of a black woman
100%
out there. So like I watched Kaching and saw two black girls.
You identify with it.
I want to be an actor, because they told me that I could, because I saw someone that looked like me on the screen. So it was very important for me as black people and women to tell our stories and just reflect reality, because then we're going to be helping other sisters, whatever, like older generations. We have so many older generations come in to watch the host, and they were just like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen, and they felt like they were being taught something. These are older people, but sadly it's because when they were growing up they never had anything like that, so they just sort of had to deal with reality at home, just kept it moving. Whereas now hopefully we're moving to the direction of, you know, seeing things at face value and with people that you can relate to. So yeah, and yeah.
It's very important, because even when you follow, obviously Hollywood's a different thing from like here, but they even talk about inclusion and telling different stories, because it is boring. The same black woman is struggling, the same black man is a junkie, and stuff like that.
Typical stereotypes that they portray.
So it's good, like things like even something like Get Out, like the way the story is told and everything. You watch it and you're like, rah, like it actually makes sense, and stuff like that. So it's so important for like even if you're black, Asian, for you to tell your story through your words and stuff like that. So
I think diversity is very important. And I always like deplore and just ask that anyone that has a story, write it down. Like I would love to work with Gambian
creatives.
writers.
There needs to be more of us.
Please, like tell them all. Like
come out.
Out there.
Come out.
If you are a writer, if you have a story to tell, please write it, because there will be someone else out there that is going to understand and it's going to be helpful to them, and it's going to give them, like, it's going to allow them to think for themselves and see how they're going to get out of certain situations. So by all means, no story is useless or everything. We can all relate to something. So if trust me, if you have a story, it's going to be someone else who go, oh, that I've been through that, I understand that. So yeah, I will always say that.
Do you think that maybe we could perhaps take this back home someday to like Gambia and Senegal, like maybe something like the Holes, maybe not now, but possibly one day? Do you think?
I would love to think, and everything that I do is always related. I'm always trying to relate it back home. Because
she was originally from African descent.
she is from Nigerian descent, and
obviously we're not Nigerian.
It's similar. Having something that you can relate to. Like, even when I said that line, Nigerians in there would just laugh. They know it. Being mentioned, like, because it's not an everyday thing that they hear. But yeah, I would like to think that we can take this back home, because I think what we don't understand about, well, what people back home don't understand is that they're going through arts every day. And when I was growing up, my granddad just told me stories, and all those stories build you as a character. Like what you hear, what you see, it allows you to learn in a different way. And what I would love to do is to be able to have creatives that understand how to use a camera, how to shoot something the right way, because I was TV and film trained as well. Like, I was behind the camera, so when we're doing our show reels, so I want people to have the vision and to have the story, because once you have the story, we can then see how we can work with that, and how, because every audience is going to need some type of way, like a certain way to see something. So yeah, for me it's about just knowing what it is that we want to tell, what kind of stories do we want to tell, how is that going to be helpful to our community, because I think through arts actually we can move our country
100%.
You know, like, I think art is so important, and like no matter what goes on in the world, even if there was a war going on right now, people will still go to the theatre, because that allows you to just get out of yourself and see life as it is, as a reflection of what is going on, without it being attacking yourself or attacking someone else. So yeah, like, I would love to take some serious work back home, to film it back home, to just allow other kids as well to just know that they can use their creative side, because I feel like if I was still living in Senegal, I'm not sure I would be an actor, simply because my family aren't, they're not into arts. They're into arts in their own way, because they'll watch it, listen to music or whatever. But I think my dad's very intellectual, and so all my family are really. So I probably would have been stuck at doing uni stuff. I would have been rubbish at it. I probably would have been married. I would have been having kids at the end of my life, like nothing else to do. So yeah, so what I'm grateful for is being here and knowing that there's a life outside of the basic things as what a black woman should do, that I can create my own life and
tell your own story.
Tell my own story, and because my story is as valid as anyone else's.
That is so true.
So yeah.
But I think Senegal is very good at that nowadays. But I watch Senegalese TV, like the different like shows that are coming on.
It's a bit more mainstream. It still has that cultural side to it.
It's still quite traditional anyway. And then, you know, all these little competitions they have, like the kids coming on and all of that. I think it's good. So it's a small step, but
small steps, but I think we need to be brave. We need to allow ourselves to not be stuck because of culture. And this is the conversation I have with Mum all the time. We have so many arguments about this is not our culture. But actually we don't know what our culture is. Let me be very honest, because the white man created our culture. So unless we're learning what happened before slavery, that isn't our culture. It's just what we've been told to do. Like, so many of us have been told that this is what life is. You grow up as a woman, you do some sort of education or whatever, but at some point you need to get married, and you need to do it soon
before you run out of time.
But the moment you have kids, what else are you going to do? You're dedicated to back home. They just their husband go to work, and they just sit at home and. They have a maid if they're lucky, or they're just doing all the housework.
Or their husbands stay at home and they go out and work.
Yeah, it's really hard work. I know back home, being in the house, but it doesn't fulfill you as a human being. So what a lot of women are doing is just surrendering and just going, well, I'll just do this and I'll forever live in that void. There's always a void that they can never fill up because they never allowed themselves to be themselves and be individuals.
I mean, there are some women that don't mind doing it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So
if that's what you want to do, then that's fine.
For me, whatever your decision is in life, as long as it's what you want to do, you go for it 100%. Let no one tell you otherwise.
Some people don't have that decision though, do they?
Most people don't. Most people get told what they should do, and they live their whole lives just pleasing other people
rather than
and
themselves.
that's, for me, that's not life. That's not you living, and life is for living. Life's too short. There are too many young people dying, and if you don't do what you want to do whilst you're alive, once you're gone, you're gone. Don't forget about you.
And it's a thing where we're lucky in the society we live in the environment we live in, where we are open to so many different options and opportunities. If you like hold back because like I'm not going to be allowed to do it, then you're never going to get to do anything. So we're very lucky. And even though it's hard, like first generation, your parents don't know what you're doing, so they're like, this doesn't make sense or whatever. But when you do push and you eventually get somewhere, then they're like, oh wow, like I'm so proud of you, like you did good. Exactly. When you get an Oscar, I always knew she had talent.
Like it's too late. No one knows about the struggle. All of those years.
That's the thing. Yeah, they don't know about the struggle because there's people out here that want to be football, that want to do so many different things, and parents don't understand maybe that there is a struggle that you have to go through. So when they see the struggle, they're like, maybe you shouldn't have done it.
Maybe you should change.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to get through that struggle to get to where you want to be.
It builds thicker skin, and you actually realize, if it's worth it for me, so I'm doing all of this. So eventually, I'm gonna wake up and be happy every day, going to do what I want to do.
I'd rather be happy doing what I want to do
in the long run.
Then even if I'm poor, if I'm broke, then be rich and constantly in misery. Me personally, I don't know about you girls, but I personally rather just be happy because if I'm happy, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna want to do things. And I'm gonna want to constantly be fighting for something. If I'm not, you're gonna find me in bed watching.
And we are lucky because there's so many of us doing diverse amount of things anyway. So we all, when you hear someone do, oh my god, like that is so good, like, and you do get inspired as well at the same time. Like, oh right, I can try and do what I want to do.
Like we can all inspire each other just by being yourself. Like if you're comfortable within your skin and doing what you want, you're inspiring.
It's so true.
It's the conversation we had yesterday. Like, why didn't we take acting seriously?
Exactly. Because we were talking about that. I remember when I
did it for A-level and everything, and I used to go to drama school and everything, and then I just kind of got discouraged one day. But now that I think back to it, I'm happy with what I'm doing now. But if I could go back, that potentially could have been something that I could have gone down and see where. And even if it didn't work out, at least I still tried it to see.
I've got friends that I went to college with actually. That we're still my friends. But when I changed to do BTEC, they were like, oh, they didn't want to do an extra year or whatever, and I went to drama school. I'm now a professional actor, and they're going,
should have done it.
We missed that. That's what we should have done. They went to uni, and they didn't have the greatest time at uni because it's not what they wanted to do. But I wanted to go. I went through the struggle at college, and I learned very quickly. And it's about just following your instinct.
It is.
You know, your body tells you what you should be doing before. It's within you. Like you have the answers in you.
You just need to find them.
You just need to allow yourself to just be brave and go for it. That would be my advice to anyone who wants to be in the creative world. Just be brave.
It's good. It's true.
Like people will talk regardless. Whether you're doing well or not, people will talk. So just do you. That's my thing. Do you. Do what makes you happy. What's going to keep you moving in life. And then eventually it's gonna work out.
Results.
I feel like a lot of people are pressured to think that you have to be at a certain stage in your life at a certain age. So with you having that third year at college, you know, they're probably thinking like,
I'm running out of time.
You know, I'm gonna be late to graduate. You know, for uni and everything and stuff like that. So that's why they probably thought.
I think deadlines really do limit you in that way as well.
Because you need to get rid of this.
Because even when I was like 12, I'm like, by the time I'm 25, I'm gonna be married with kids, some six-figure job, and then now I'm like, right, I'm gonna be 25 this year. Like, and none of that has been achieved, but it's okay. Like, it's okay.
Like I used to think that, like, because I'm 22, I should have graduated last year. So I'm seeing all my friends graduate, and I'm like, I should have been here. But then afterwards, I'm like, no, like, I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. Like, when I graduate, that will be the time that God has, you know, chosen for me to graduate. So,
and if you do miss that year where all your friends graduate, trust me, if your friend did the wrong course or whatever, they've just done it so they can graduate at 22 or whatever. At some point they're going to have a stop. At some point they're going to literally have to go backwards, and either way, unless you do what you want to do, you're going to have to go backwards.
It's not worth it. The pressures are not worth it. It's not worth it. Because even when we're talking about social media and how everyone puts on this false life out there, if you keep scrolling like, oh no, this person's already got a car and this person's got this, you're never gonna make it. Like, you have to. Everyone's got their own lane and everyone's just doing their own, going on their own journey. Like, it's okay when you don't reach that. Because even I saw a tweet the other day. I was like, oh my god, at my age, my mum had me and another. Listen, this is not like the 90s anymore. Like, it's very different. Like, exactly, yeah.
A race, it's more of a marathon, and everyone's their own pace.
Like, so it's just and I guess when you come from a certain background and everything, it's an adjustment.
And it's harder in certain backgrounds to be a rebel. Like in some people's eyes, I'm a bit of a rebel, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being a rebel. I'm okay with.
And they only label you as a rebel because you're not doing what
the traditional life.
Like, you can't control my life because I'm living my life.
Exactly.
You've lived yours. Thank you. Now let me live mine.
Everyone's different. Even twins are different. Everyone's different. So I think people are just scared of difference or change. Or when they don't understand. When you don't understand.
You know, sticking to the norm that we know, especially within our culture and everything. So
it's the unknown that people are scared of. I think there's. If you don't know it, how can you
learn.
It could be anything. It could be something amazing. It could be a miracle.
Exactly.
So
So talking about that, like we were talking about before, when you went to Gambia and Senegal, and how different it was compared to being like a Senegalese here and being a Senegalese there. Just tell us, like, briefly how it was for you going back to Gambia first of all, because I know it's different to going to Senegal.
So just before this trip, actually, like 2 years prior. So last time I went back before this trip, I went back on my own. I went to Senegal, I didn't go to Gambia, and I had the best 2 weeks of my life. And I had it simply because I was discovering my country. Like, I went to Senegal and I was going to the safari, and I was going to Pink Lake, like horse is called. And I was just doing all of these things, and it was just the most, I felt like I was in the most beautiful country, and people were just so nice and welcoming, and I literally remember coming back feeling recharged and ready to work. And this time I went back and I went to Gambia first for a wedding. And guys, please.
Everyone has a different experience, so
you know, generally I had a good time. Okay, so I'm like,
okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was it for you, basically?
It was. What do you mean, a scale of 1 to 10?
Like 1 being really bad and then 10 being like really good.
Because they're like 2.
Like 0.1 or 4.5.
No, that's alright. That's like nearly halfway. That's alright.
And I think I only had I didn't have a great time, only because I felt like I was being told how to be, and I don't like that. I don't like being conformed into
something like
whatever I think I should be like. And because the way I live here is very much, I'm very Afrocentric. I really want people to know that back home is where is where everything is. Like, if you go back home, you're not going to be seen as an alien. Like, I like to travel. And the first time I went to Greece, I remember walking onto a beach and everyone looked at me like I was literally an alien. I sat on the beach and I cried because I just felt it was the worst moment of my life, because every white person on that beach turned around to me, and I just felt so small and tiny, and I just cried. And so when I go back home and I go back to the motherland, I want to be feeling free, and no one's looking at me any differently. I'm not an alien, I'm just human like everyone else. But when I was in Gambia, I just felt that I was being told that I was too black, and then that left me a bit confused. And too black in terms of I have afro hair, and why do I not have at least braids, if not a wig. And I was told that. I was like, you're not gonna get your hair, like, why is your hair like this?
Oh my god.
I was a bit like, no, this is home.
What?
This is what my hair is meant to look like. So I don't understand what the beef is. And like I know there's across Africa there's this whole thing about being lighter skinned, and they make it so normal to have bleaching products. Like, it's not okay. Like,
you got billboards.
You got billboards
everywhere.
It's the adverts you that you need to be lighter because that's what is seen as great. And you know, I've spoken to a few people about it, and they say that that's what men like, and I don't believe that. Men actually don't like you bleaching. Let me be very clear here. Men like you with your natural beauty. It's either, and you have to be very confident within yourself, whether you're dark skin, light skin, whatever. That is attractive on its own. You bleaching is not gonna make a man run to you.
Like
so
when
they've got this false reality, don't they, of just I'm doing it so I can get a husband.
It's not.
The man isn't really. They're not going out there going, I want you to bleach. Like, absolutely not. I had many men tell me in Gambia and Senegal.
Even us, beautiful, black beauty everywhere you go.
So I don't know where it's come from. I know where it's come from. I know it's from the Western world. I know it's colorism.
It's like media influence. All this,
take it back to slavery time. We can take it back to all of those places. But now we need to move on from
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Because slavery's happened. And I'm not saying it wasn't important. It was very important. It's made us. It's put us where we are right now. But we need to be strong. Look, we are strong people, and we've got out of slavery. Now, do you know what we need to do? Our mental slavery needs to be taken out. I think mentally we are still locked in, and I felt that in Gambia more so than Senegal, that mentally the white man's got them on a lockdown, and they're just not. They're not getting out of there. And because when I did travel to Senegal a couple of days later, in those 4, and I was only there for about 4 or 5 days. I did see girls with their afro hair, and I was like, they literally had their afro puffs, and I was like, oh, cool, like,
I'm home.
This is good, this is great. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't see one in Gambia. And in the wedding that I went to, I saw one woman who cut her hair, and that for me that was the most natural I've seen anyone in Gambia, and that made me sad because I'm living my life trying to promote black people and everything black, everything beautiful, and I didn't want to be back at home in an actual African land and somewhat be told that I'm not pretty enough or attractive enough because I've got afro hair and
you're too dark.
So because of that political thing, I find it quite hard. I was struggling a bit mentally as well. I was struggling because I just thought, I think I just wasn't expecting that. And I think the shock is what made me sort of go into myself a bit, and so I didn't have the best of times, sadly, but I understand why, and I understand why they feel the way they feel, but I just think we need to move on.
I think it's still an excuse. I think we still should be able to.
It's just that now we're in this space here, maybe in the Western world, where everyone's like, black, like dark skin, hair out, and all that stuff, and they're just so oblivious to that. They're so behind.
But I feel like they shouldn't be.
Yeah, they shouldn't
because
be.
The technology is in a place where they're
they're on the phones.
Like if I look at my phone, all I'm seeing is black, pro-black stuff. Like all the music I listen to is pro-black stuff, and they're listening to Afro beats and watching all these videos that has black people in it that are now promoting black beauty and black people. So why do you ignore it?
Exactly.
What is it in your mind that you switch off and go, nah, I don't understand. So I guess that's what we need to tackle, whatever that is.
They choose to ignore it.
Yeah, it's self-hatred to the core, and that's what makes me a bit sick.
It's weird. It is weird because you wouldn't expect that 100% in a country full of black people.
Yeah, exactly.
They're telling you how to be black. You're like, what? Like,
and they're like, oh, you're it.
What? Exactly. Like, what? Exactly. That black comes in different shades and everything. So
but
it's just
like I don't understand.
Like there was like a relative's house that I went to. She's telling me like, oh, you've gotten a lot darker. I'm thinking, babes, I'm black.
It is hard to understand.
And I'm also here, the sun is shining, I'm proud.
Yeah.
You know, I've had like someone go like taking off their makeup and was like, oh, yeah, I'm so dark.
Wow.
Mashallah.
Exactly.
But she laughed because I think she found it weird that I said mashallah because no one's ever said that. And I was like, you're black, yes, you're dark. Beautiful, what? I don't understand. Like,
what's the problem?
Like, what is it? But yeah.
That is sad, and I feel maybe it's something that's just going to take time, or because nothing's going to change overnight.
Are changing, especially because of social media, but maybe just not enough yet.
Yeah.
But we will get there.
Yeah. I mean, I did see a lot, and I don't mean to compare the two countries, but I see that whenever I go back, I do try to go back every 2 years. When I go back to Senegal, that I feel that I know, I see it. Like, I see these people are taking ownership of who they are and their natural beauty in whatever shape that is, whatever form they take it in. I did struggle to see that in Gambia, and it was a bit worrying, and I didn't really know where I stood.
Hopefully it's going to be different next 2 years. Really. If you're not scared of going back, but
you go back and let me know. I'll be across the road.
It's great because I think I come from dark family members anyway, so I don't feel like in my families per se. My mum's mum is dark, my dad's very dark, so like we come from dark people, so we've never had that, so it's very like new for me to hear it as well, because I've never had, all I've ever heard is don't bleach, don't bleach, don't bleach, and it's like, so
so my family's like that, so I want to be as dark as my dad's side of the family, which is but they're
proper rich, dark skin,
dark, just like shiny, like sort of glowing. So whenever I go back home, I just feel so at home and so happy. I just want people to just
embrace it, man. Like,
not judge you.
Everyone's different. It's okay if you're naturally light. It's okay if you're naturally dark. It's not like one should be the other. Because there's like white people tanning out here. Like it doesn't even make any sense.
Just,
like,
I mean, it is just
very backwards.
The way the world works. Is
I mean, as long as you're confident in your own person, then
I just think we just need to tackle the self-love, whatever that may be to the individual. It's about just taking you for who you are, love yourself, because that's the only way you're going to move forward in life.
That is very true.
Exactly. So do you have any future plans in regard to your acting career? Any new shows that we should look forward to?
At the moment, I'm just going through casting, so some exciting castings coming up. But no, nothing's set at the moment. But I'm a bit picky, so I'm that kind of act, because I've been lucky and I've been working, and I do have somewhat of a name for myself in the theatre world. Actually, what I want to do this year is more screen stuff, because I was trained in screen, and I haven't done, I think I've done one TV show, and that was it. Everything else for the past 2-3 years just been theatre, and I do love it. I've learned to love it, but I want to do some TV, sort of screen. And but it's always got to be something that's worthwhile for me. It's about feeding my passion. It's not just about getting the paycheck. It's about me being, it's about someone else, a younger version of me, seeing me and feeling some type of way and being empowered and inspired. Because I feel like I have that responsibility for my audience. All of us, we should all have the responsibility to allow the kids on the next generation to see that there is a world out there we can all explore and discover together, and you shouldn't be scared to go for whatever it is that you want to do. And also I really want to work with more Gambian
Senegalese. Hello, juk len.
No, just like I've seen some of your guests that's come here, and I just think it's amazing, like that I'm seeing musicians and just people that are doing other things that I probably would never meet. That's the truth, because I'm not really into the Gambian community like that, which is sad, but I want to be, and so I'm going, please. Please. And so as I said before, I'm sure there's a Gambian girl out there, Senegalese girl, African girl out there going, I want to write, or I want to do acting, I want to do this, I want to do that. Do it. Just do it. Be brave. Take that leap of faith and go for it, because it's gonna turn out. So, listen, just being happy within yourself for me is the biggest reward you can have. And once you do that, everything will just fall into place, and you will be, you inspire. I think.
I think eventually we'll get there where we're all like working together and creating projects and stuff.
I would love that.
It will happen. I also wanted to know, like, when it comes to casting and auditioning, how does the process work? Is it like through your agent?
So I just get an email from my agent going, this person wants to see you for this project, and I go, cool. And So I had one last week. It was a play, and it was about female boxing.
Wow.
It was on Friday. I done it actually. So they will send you the script, they'll send you the play, and the character that you're auditioning for, and they will send you the sides. So that's the section of the script that they want you to look at.
Okay.
And that's basically, so like you have a time and date to do that. So what I do, because everyone has their own process, so I read the whole play. I always want to know exactly what goes in. I don't just read my little section. I want to know exactly what happens throughout the play, and then I print out my sides. And I always like to be off book. Off book means knowing your lines, because in theatre most of the time you don't have to, when you're doing audition, you don't have to be off book. You can read it through. But I'm very dyslexic, so I can't. I'm the worst actor when I'm reading. I can't do it. I need to know what I'm saying. I want to learn all of the words. That way I don't have to worry about anything else but just doing my job. So yes, I'll do that. You go to the meeting, you meet the director. Usually the director will be doing the audition, and they'll have an assistant director or someone else that reads it. And yeah, usually it's about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like you literally can prep for hours. Go into about 10 minutes and just move. And there's something that there's like, sometimes there's no recall, but most times there will be a recall, because they'll probably like trying to get two,
like
three
the top people.
So they'll do a recall, and then you sort of find out whether you got the job in a couple of days or whatever. With TV stuff, it's slightly different. TV, so if it's like really big, so when I was doing that Black Panther audition, I had no idea it was Black Panther. So they just say, it's a Marvel movie, here are the sides, send the self-tape. Well, I was meant to go to the meeting, but I couldn't because I was working in Stratford upon Avon. So then I had to do a self-tape, so you just film it and then you send it to them. And, or if it's another TV thing, you can just literally come into the studio. Like, so when you go to the theatre audition, it's very much conversational. You really talk to the director. They want to know what kind of person you are, because obviously they're going to have to rehearse with you. So it's about knowing what kind of person you're working with. But in film and TV, it's very quick. You can literally come in and they go, hi, the camera on. The first time I've done that, I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, I can't say it. So I remember my first TV audition was Outlander. And it was in French, because I speak French, and literally I got it the day before. So a lot of the TV stuff, they won't give you that much time to prepare. And it was this whole thing in French, and it's like, and it's not your basic French, it's like your Shakespeare version of French. I'm not lying to you, because it's set in like God knows where. And I said to my agent, okay, and this was my first audition as my agent as well. I was like, I love this. And I remember running to my mum's and just talking French with her, just sort of get that back in my mind. And I literally went in expecting a theatre, like, hi, how are you? I literally walked in and they just in the camera, I just want to stand there. And I started sweating. I was like, someone didn't even ease me in. And I wasn't great on my lines, because I literally had it the day before. But and I remember going, I can't do this right now, this is just too much. And she said to me, do you want to come back on Monday? And I went, they never do that, by the way. So I came out and I called my agent, I was like, I think she said she wants to come back on Monday. She went, that probably means they want you to have that part. Because otherwise they just they don't have time for that. Like in film and TV, it's all about time. They haven't got time to shout, to like make you feel comfortable. It's just you come in and out, you do your job and you get out. If you look right for the job, because everyone's a good actor. Like no one is a terrible actor on screen. So it's about looking the right part, seeing what happens with whoever's watching it, seeing if that's the look they're going for, because it's all about looks. So it's about how things look, how you're going to look next to this person and whatever. But yes, I did get that job, but it is, TV and film is tough, and it's you have to have a backbone for that. You just come in, do it, and get out. And that's how it works.
Wow. At least you had that first experience and booked it, so now you know like what to do.
You know what to expect.
Exactly. So whenever I do have a TV thing, there is pressure and no pressure at the same time, because I go in there like half the time it's not about my talent. Half the time it's about just do I look the right way, and that's it. So the rest will just sort itself out, because everyone's trained, everyone knows how to act. So it's just about
the look right,
looking right for that part.
It's crazy though, because you'd think, I don't know, it's crazy, you'd think talent outweighs look, but but I guess that's the reality of the entertainment industry.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, maybe because now there's a lot more maybe black parts or something, maybe that's what it seems like from outside. But possibly, do people, like, when you go into casting for TV, is it like they already have in mind, I want this person to look like this, I want them to sound like this?
Well, maybe. So I mean, I'm not the greatest person to answer that. That would be the director or the producers and however they want the thing to look. But when they do send, so if they send me a script, it's because they potentially want a black person to do that. So I am expecting to go to an audition room, and in the waiting room I'm expecting to see
black people.
I am. But like the one on Friday, the theatre one on Friday, there was clearly they just wanted to find a good
somebody
here because the person that went in before me wasn't black, and so it just depends on what kind of story they're telling, and what kind of director. There are directors out there that are just like, we don't care for colour. We just want to find a great performer that's going to tell the story the way we want it. We don't have that many of those, but we do. And there are some people that are just like, no, this person's got to look exactly like this, and I want them to be this and speak like this and whatever. So it all very much depends.
It's interesting. It's a very fascinating industry to be involved in.
You learn every day. I've had, I probably shouldn't say this, I'm going to say it anyway. I had last year, so I went for a general meeting with this director, and it was for a film. And he pretty much offered me the job on the table. And then they started casting about a year later, and the character was Nigerian. And she was Nigerian because it was in the script, like there was a reason why she was Nigerian. I went for it, and then they gave it to someone else. I was like, cool. But then I looked at the other person they gave it to, and I was like, this makes no sense. She was this beautiful long-haired mixed-race girl, and I was like, I'm so confused. What's happening? And he even went out of his way to change the script.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, okay, cool.
Wow, people still do that.
Like, you just don't know. Like, anything can happen, I guess. Like, people change their minds, and but you can't really ever take it personally. You just gotta go. It wasn't.
It wasn't for me.
It's fine. I can deal with that. Just keep it moving and whatever. I mean, it's harder sometimes, and you're just like, oh, I really want that. But you always have to remind yourself.
It's the way that it's the business, isn't it? You always hear that. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. It's been a very amazing and educational conversation. We're looking forward to you working with a Gambian or Senegalese creative. Like, we really want to see that. So hopefully it's gonna happen.
Like a TV series.
That would be so interesting.
I would
watch that. We all have such similar experiences growing up. Anyone can make a story. Like 100%. Yeah, 100%. Hopefully we find someone and we look forward to that. But you're not on social media, are you? Because I was going to say.
I am. But
where can people find you if they want to keep up with what you're doing?
I think on Facebook I'm Marieme Diouf. Spelled the Senegalese way. On Instagram, Mamostv, so MAMZJ. And if that's not the one, it's an underscore. And I think it's the same for Twitter. So either or, Mamostv or Marieme Diouf.
That's great.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and thank you for watching Xale Yi, Juk Len.
And we'll see you around.
A date for your diary, Gambian Fashion and Exhibition Weekend. Designers are welcome to register interest. It's all about raising awareness of the fantastic work being done in our community.
Award night, fashion night and exhibition of top class only. This event is sponsored by Gam Designers UK.